Hello friends, in this session we will discuss the next unit of ABM module C, human implications of a organization. Okay, what are the human implications of organization? We are going to discuss. Okay, so first see some introduction part. See, in human resource management HRM, it is important to understand how individual differences in their impact human behavior. That means basically in the organization, individual humans behavior, that is a employees behavior, is also very important, right? In and each individual not only different physically but also different with respect to behavior and other psychological factors. This is due to the fact that experiences of the individuals will never be exactly alike and making each person unique. So basically this is the introduction part. That means every individual have different experiences in their life, that's why their behavior is also a different. Okay, that's why it is very important to study how the human behavior is important and how individual person's behavior can be controlled for the growth of the organization, that we are going to discuss. So this is just an introduction part. Now see human behavior and individual differences. See, behavior according to the psychologist Kurt Lewin, it is a combination of the function of a person and the environment around him. So according to the psychologist Kurt Lewin, what is a behavior? It is just a combination of function of a person and the environment around that person, simply, right? So these factors are linked with each other and thus we can say behavioral characteristics cannot be explained completely. So what is basically a behavior? Behavior, it is a combination of what? The function of a person and the environment around that person. Okay, and we can say the behavioral characteristics cannot be explained completely, right? And this is also why different person have behaved differently in same or different environment. Okay, that means basically behavior is not able, we are not able to say that the same person or the employees which are working in the same cadre will have same behavior. It is not possible because it depends on that individual person and what is the environment around that person. The whole behavior is depend on that individual person and what is the environment around that person. Okay, this is just about the behavior. So see, since each individual is different, organizations have to treat each employee differently in order to motivate them. Okay, they need to keep in mind the specific needs and motives of their different employee. Thus, organization cannot adopt a set of standard to deal with the employee. There are various factors that influences the behavior of an individual. So what we are learning here, first we learn that every individual, his behavior depend on his own function as well as what is the environment around that person. Okay, that's why it is different for each employee or each individual. That's why we cannot have a set of standard, to regulate the behavior of persons. So that's why it is very important how to control the individual behavior. And what are the factors that affect the behavior of individual, that we are going to discuss. Okay, there are various factors that influences the behavior of an individual. What are that factors? Simply, first, environmental factor, second, a personal factor, third, organizational factor, and fourth, psychological factor. Okay, very simply remember there are four factors mainly which influences the behavior of an individual. What are that? Environmental factor, personal factor, organizational factor, and psychological factor. So we will discuss one by one. What are the environmental factors? See, these are external factors. Environmental means what? It is external factor and include what? Economic, social, and political environment. Okay, so we can say externally where you are, what is your economic situation, how you are socially connected, and what are your political environment around you. That is basically included in the environmental. Simply. Next, what are the personal factors that influences the behavior of an individual? See, personal factors include age, sex, education, ability, and marital status. These factors have an impact on the behavior of an individual. Okay, what is your age? Whether you are male or female? What is your education? What is your ability? Whether you are married or not married? That also decide your behavior of on the work. That means if you are having age 30 to 40, definitely you are in the very good active young age, you can work better. If you are having age 50 to 60, you will work, you will not have that much of efficiency, that much of energy, but definitely you will work as a mentor in the bank, right? If then education also very important. If you are having some technical background, you can do in very good in technical work. If you are from marketing department, marketing MBA, you can do good in marketing, right? So basically these are the personal things which also affect the behavior of a person. How the marital status affects? If married versus unmarried, married persons have different roles they have to play. Wife, husband, then father, mother, different roles they have to play. So if there is some tension in their family, they may affect in their behavior. Okay, so that's why we can say the marital status also included in the category of personal factors. So what we have learned, there are different factors which affect the behavior of an individual. First the environmental, and the second is the personal. In the environmental, we discussed that factors basically which are external factors. For example, economic, that is economic situation of a particular individual, social or political environment around that person. Okay. Next is the personal, which generally include the what is the age, sex, education, ability, or you can say marital status also. Okay, that we have discussed. Now third is the organizational. What are the organizational factors that affect the behavior of individual? See, organizational factor affect and influences the behavior of the individual and include physical facilities, organizational structure and design, leadership and compensation and reward system. Organizational factors means what? Basically what are the what are in the organization, what are in organization for employee, or we can say for individual. That are basically the organizational factor. For example, if you are working very hard, is there any reward system in your bank? Okay, this also affects the behavior. If there is a leadership chance, what is the organizational hierarchy and structure designed, right? So these are the organizational factors that affect and influences behavior of an individual, and these are the organizational factor simply. Next is the psychological. What are the psychological factors that affect the behavior of an individual? See, psychological factors include personality, perception, attitude and value and learning. These factors are largely responsible for a unique behavior of every individual. These are the most important, because psychological factors are we are not able to control the psychological factor, right? So it depends. What are the psychological factor? What is your perception? What attitude do you have? What your value do you believe? In which value and what do you learn, and how you are trained? There is basically a self-learning here. Learning refer to the self-learning. So these factors are largely responsible for the unique behavior of every individual. So just one thing I repeat, what are the factors which influences the behavior of an individual? Okay, just remember there are environmental factors which include which are generally the external factors. Next, personal factor, that may be their marital status, age, sex, okay, education. Organizational factor means the factors which are in the organization, say hierarchy of organization, leadership, or we can say reward system. And psychological factor include what is the attitude of that employee, what is the self learning evaluation, right? So these are the psychological factors. So simply in a broader view you have to remember. Okay, don't go in a line by line, just remember there are four mainly factors: environmental, personal, psychological, and organizational. Okay, that four name you have to remember. Okay, because they can frame a question which of the following does not influence the behavior of an individual. Okay, so in this way question can be framed. So okay, now we will discuss the next point, employees behavior at work. We have discussed what are the factors that affect the employee. Okay, now we will discuss the employee's behavior at work. The behavior of an employee is as an individual and in a group can make a significant impact on the achievement of organizational group activity. The role and performance of an employee in the organization are interdependent. Okay, so basically what we learn here, behavior is also very important. Behavior of a employee is also important because behavior also impact the output of that employee. Okay, simply now there are few basic assumptions centered around people and organization. What are that assumption? See, about people, there are difference between individual. We know there are differences between the individual. We cannot say that the three person working in the front counter of a bank are having same behavior. Okay, there are differences between the different individual. Behavior of a people is influenced by the external factor we have just discussed, and individual has a dignity. Every individual has his own dignity. Okay, these are the assumptions about the people when we are going to discuss the behavior in the organization or behavior at the work. And about organization, what are the assumptions? That organizations are the social systems and there is mutuality of interest among the organizational members, and organizational behavior is holistic. What is holistic? Means including all, basically it's taking care of all. Okay, so organizational behavior is holistic. Okay, so here they may ask you a true or false. Organizational behavior is holistic, whether is a true or a false statement. In this way they can frame a true or false question. Okay, next we will discuss the human personality. See, even though individuals differ from each other, there can be a certain commonalities, right? Thus the human personality is a complex and multi-dimensional phenomenon. However, personality can be examined in terms of stable characteristics, tendency, and behavior pattern. The changes in the personality occur slowly over a period of time. So basically what we have to say, see here, we have discussed, every individual behave differently than other individual. Okay, that we have discussed. Behavior of every individual is different. Every individual's and other individuals behavior is different, but what we come to know that there is some common thing between the each individual which depend on their behavior. Okay, this is the on that which are the same, there are some commonality between the different individuals. Okay, so based on that we have divided the individual in two types. First is the type A personality and second is the type B personality. Okay, so it is very interesting and a very easy topic. See, there are two type of a personality that we are going to discuss, and after learning you can evaluate yourself in which category do you fall. Okay, whether you are type A personality or a type B personality. So the concept of a personality can be examined with the help of several theory. One of the such theory is type A and type B. Okay, so we will discuss type A and type B theory. So see here, in the beginning I will let you know. See, this is the type A person and this is the type B person. So see how type A person is worried about and how type B person is relaxed. Okay, enjoying the life. So friends, here is not about the gender. Type A personality is the personality which are under stress. You can observe here, which are always busy. Okay, and type B means which is always relaxed and enjoying the life. Okay, so remember overall here, through picture you can easily come to know what is difference between type A and type B. Type A is a very workaholic and type B is having a relaxed mindset. Okay, so we will discuss the characteristics of a type A personality. Okay, so this is not about the gender, I repeat, this is male, this is female, this is not about that. type A means a busy person having a work attention, and type B is a relaxed person enjoying the life, sitting back and getting relaxed. Okay, so just this is. Now what is a type A? What are the characteristics of type A that we will discuss? Okay, so according to the researcher Friedman, Meyer and Reyerman, people with type A personality demonstrated the following characteristics. You don't need to remember the name even, just you should know what is a type A personality. Okay, so which are the characteristics? Based on that they can frame a case study. Okay, remember, based on that IIBF can ask you a case study. Definitely we are going to discuss the all possible case study in our MCQ session. Okay, so here we will complete what is the characteristics having of a type A personality. First, they are restless by nature and they are therefore unable to sit still, right? They tend to be impatient and dislike waiting. They undertake multiple tasks at the same time, and irrespective of whether the task gets completed or not. They rarely wait to finish the task before starting another task. They are having nervous gesture, and they are constantly busy and don't have time to enjoy the life. So basically all that characteristics which I have read here is nothing but just in one view you can observe this person is type A. Okay, so this is always busy person, always having a multiple task he is doing and starting the new task before ending the first task. Okay, and don't want to enjoy the life, and he also don't like to wait, he always busy. This, if you are in the category of type A, you in the characteristics shown below, you are having a type A characteristics of a personality. Now what is a type B? We will discuss it again. So friends, just read these characteristics. Okay, these are very easy, nothing to explain in that, right? Type A means basically a serious kind of person, okay, and who always like to be busy. Next, now what are the characteristics of a type B personality? It is very relaxed. So there are very few characteristics. See, the people of a type B personality demonstrate the following characteristics. First, they are more relaxed and laid back, tend to be more sociable, and they display a balanced outlook of life. Okay, so here you can observe how the type B personality, they are enjoying the life, they are sitting back, getting relaxed, right? So basically type B, they are more social also. So definitely type A and type B, I think it is very clear to you. So based on that they will give you an example that person is having these characteristics. So in which type of personality he is in false. Okay, in this way the question can be framed. So we discussed type A and type B personality. Now we will discuss some basic, there are some theories that we will discuss. Okay, in short we will discuss, because that three theory we are going to discuss in the next, which are having very few significance. Okay, so in the brief we will discuss what is the psychoanalytical theory. It is generally called as the PT. It is a psychoanalytical theory. See, psychoanalytical theory proposed by Freudian concept, and it is based on unconscious, subconscious and a conscious nature of a personality. So what is a psychoanalytical theory? It is based on conscious, subconscious and unconscious, subconscious and conscious nature of a personality. See, the Freud explains that human behavior and motivation are the outcome of a psychological element, ID, ego and superego. So according to the Freud, who given the theory? Freud. According to this Freud, the human behavior as well as the motivation are the outcome of what? Psychological element. That means what is your ID, what is your ego and superego, and that basically gives stem to what? Your behavior. So basically we will discuss what is ID instincts. See, these are the ID instincts which are due to the biological changes in your body. next is the ego, how you are realistic, and next is the super ego. And based on that three, your behavior is generated. Your behavior, how you behave, basically that depends on that three characteristics, and this is according to whom? According to the Freud. Okay, so see, the ID is the primitive and instructional part of the mind that contains sexual and aggressive drive and hidden memory. So what is ID instincts? It is just all about your biological changes in your body that that decides your behavior. And what is the super ego and hidden memories? The super ego operate as a moral conscience, and the ego is a realistic part that mediate between the desire of the ID and a super ego. Okay, so here is a ID instincts, and here is a super ego, it is a morality. But where is ego is a state where you are having a reality, that is balanced approach. Okay, so here is further more information I have provided about the ID, ego and super ego. So basically this theory is not that much of important, but as they have given in the syllabus, we will discuss it. Okay, so basically what is psychoanalytical theory? According to the Freudian, it is based on what? It is based on your psychological element. First, ID, ego and superego, and according to him, that a three element gives rise to your behavior. How you should behave, basically decided by three elements according to the scientist Freudian. Okay, so again we will discuss that element. I have also derived some more information about that. See, ID strive all biological pleasure and has an animal instinct of aggression, power and domination. Okay, basically ID is responsible for what your biological pleasure. It may be your sexual, or it may be your aggression, power or domination. And what is ego? Ego is a conscience. Ego is a conscious in nature. Conscious, if you are in a, see, ego is very very important. It is a conscious in nature and relate to our conscious urge to outside world. Ego keep ID in the check through the reality of external environment. Okay, and the super ego is a higher level of restraining forces and recognizes what is wrong and what is right by absorption of a cultural and ethical values of the environment. Okay, so it is very much clear. I don't need to explain further. Okay, this is all about the biology. Okay, so this is a psychoanalytical theory. Now, in order to create a normal personality, there should be a balanced relationship among these three factors. Okay, what are ID, ego and super ego? Okay, there should be a balanced approach in both the three. Okay, next theory we are going to discuss the trait theory. What is a trait theory? So friends, see, trait means what? Basically, trait theory explain personality as a demonstration of each trait of an individual. Okay, each trait means what? How the person is having traits basically. Okay, based on that there is just a trait theory. It is very simple. On the basis of a trait theory, people can be described as aggressive, loyal, pleasant, flexible, humorous, sentimental, impulsive, cool and so on. Trait means how basically you behave. What are your main characteristics that focuses firstly, right? Whether you are aggressive. If for example, my friend, his name is Ashish. My friend's name is Ashish, and when I come to know that Ashish, I will just remember he is a very when I listen the name of Ashish, I come to know that Ashish is very aggressive. Ashish is very aggressive. That means the first instance for that person, you get a remind about that. Okay, that is basically a trait. Okay, what is a trait theory? That is it is a theory that explain how the certain traits of an individual. What are the traits of that individual are having? It may be aggressive, loyal, pleasant, flexible, humorous, sentimental, impulsive, cool, and all. You can add here. Okay, that is just basic about trait theory. Next is the self-concept theory. What is the self-concept theory? According to this theory, individual can determine his personality and behavior because it is a self-concept. So according to this theory, individual his own personality and behavior can be determined. His self image is an integration of how he view himself and how other view himself. Okay, what you think about yourself and what other think about you. It is a combination of the self concept theory simply. Okay, the self concept is a result of a person's interaction with the environment. The learning experience arising out of a interaction help the person to grow, mature and enable to modify his self concept as a result of these experiences. When we get positive feedback from other, in a response to the other, our self concept is reinforced, and if the feedback is negative, the self regard is lowered, resulting the tension and anxiety. Okay, so this is all about the self concept. Concept means how you think yourself and how other think about you. Okay, and if you get positive feedback, if you see here, if you get a positive feedback from other, then what you can say, you will get motivated. Okay, and if you get negative feedback from others about you, then you will have anxiety, tension. Oh, okay, so this is all about the self concept theory. There is nothing to explain or nothing any special value or special theory is there. It is just a common sense theory, self concept theory, how you think yourself and how other think about you. If there is positive feedback you are getting from other, you will be getting you will having a more positive attitude and you will get more reinforced. And if there is negative feedback from others, you will get tension, anxiety. That's it. Okay, this is the self concept theory. Now what is the social learning theory? So it is also just a common theory, just a social learning theory. According to this theory, personality development is more a result of the social variable. So according to this theory, what we can say, the name itself, it is a self-explanatory, friends. Social learning theory means what? How you are socially involved, and that decide your behavior, that basically affect your behavior, how you are socially involved. Okay, so according to this theory, personality development is a more as a result of social variables. According to this theory, personality is a sum of a total of all that person has learned. The social learning theory uses punishment and reinforcement approach in understanding the personality. So what are the approaches used by social learning theory? In one line you can remember, it is a punishment as well as the reinforcement approach used in the social learning theory. Reinforcement, what means? You are getting positive feedback, you will get a reinforcer, that is a positive feedback. That is just basically the reinforcement approach. And punishment means you are getting negative feedback or negative vibes from the social media, then it is a punishment for you. Okay, just in this way you can correlate. Next, so basically I repeat what we have discussed here. First, theory, see that theory is not that much of important. The most important, I will repeat in the since beginning, we will discuss what we have discussed. Okay, so we have discussed human behavior is very important, and every individual behavior is different. Okay, so there are some factors which affect the human behavior. There are environmental factor, there are personal factor, there are organizational factor, and there are psychological factor. We have discussed one by one. Environmental, generally the external factor. Personal means the sex, education, age, these are the personal. Organizational means reward system, organizational structure, hierarchy, leadership, design of organization. These are the organizational factors. Next is the psychological factor, which are mainly include personality, what is the attitude of you are having, that is the psychological factors. So these four factors affect the behavior of an individual. Now we have to discuss how employee behave at work. That is very important, because behavior of employee at work definitely affect the goals and achievement of the organization. So it mainly we are having some assumption about the people in the organization, that there are differences between the individual, and the behavior of people is influenced by the external factor, and every individual has a dignity. These are the assumption about the people. And about organization, we should keep in mind that organizations are the social system. There is a mutuality of interest among the organizational member, and organizational behavior is a holistic. These we have discussed. And then we come to know about human personality. We have discussed type A and type B personality. Okay, so here is the important actually part starts from here. Type A means the person, see, you can see a type A, whereas a type B. Type B is a very relaxed, enjoying the life. Type A is always confused and always busy. Okay, so these are the basically type A and type B. Just remember the read the characteristics of type A and characteristics of the type B. Next theory we have discussed, which is not that much of important, I repeat, because the psychological analytical theory, it is given by the Freudian. It is based on the three elements, which are the ID instincts, ego and superego, which gives rise that how you can behavior. Okay, and controlling all the three in the equivalent manner will have good behavior. Okay, that is the first theory that we have discussed. Next is the trait theory. Trait means how the person shows the trait. So it may be aggressive, loyal, pleasant, flexible, anything. Okay, and next is the self concept theory, how you think yourself and how other think about you. It is combination perception of the combination of that both gives rise to the self concept theory. That is basically self evaluation. Okay, and so social learning theory we have discussed. That means how you are socially connected. Okay, and that determines your behavior, how you are connected with the socially, and that determines the behavior of your or we can say individual. That is the basically a social learning theory. Okay, so that three theory we have discussed. Now we will discuss the next important theory that we have to discuss here is the job fit theory. That is Holland's personality job fit theory. So basically here according to the Holland's personality job fit theory, what is your personality and which job is suitable for you? That is all about the Holland's personality job fit theory. Okay, that we will discuss. So matching a personality with a types of personality type with a job. Okay, what is your personality and what should be your job? That is very interesting and very interesting topic we will discuss here. Okay, so see here, people with the similar personality tend to move together. Okay, people of the same personality type working together in a job can create a work environment that is best for fits for their type. Okay, we know that is the which are the BFF, the best friend forever, are having generally the same personality, Why they are best friends? Because they are having same personality. So individual, according to the psychologist, they also think that the person which are having same personality definitely will move together and that will be good for the organization. That's why we will discuss the personality job fit theory. Okay, see, according to the John Holland's personality job fit theory, there are 6 personality types and 6 type of job environment. So first bit you have to remember, according to the Holland personality job fit theory, there are 6 job types and there are 6 personalities. Okay, people who choose to work in the environment similar to their personality type are more likely to be successful. So that we are going to discuss what is your personality and what should be your occupation, what should be your job, that we will discuss. First, there are 6 type of personality. Okay, Holland's personality job fit theory. So it is very interesting, friends. First, see, if your personality type is realistic, if you are having person of a type of a realistic, means what? Realistic means what? Individual under this personality type refer physical activity that require the use of skill, strength and coordination. So what is a realistic type of personality? Generally the person which do the physical work. For example, say workers, okay, they do the physical work, so their personality type is realistic. Okay, so what are the personality characteristics? They tend to be a shy, they are genuine, persistent, stable, conforming and practical. Okay, and what should be their occupation? The people working in the mechanic, drill press operator, assembly line worker, general worker and farmer are usually display this kind of personality. So friends, remember here, generally farmers and workers are having realistic characteristics, are having the realistic type of personality, and they can, what are their characteristics? They are practical, they are genuine, persistent, stable and conforming. Okay, so first type we have discussed, the personality having realistic, The realistic means generally they do the physical work. Just remember, realistic means they are generally doing the physical work. Okay, they are uses their skill and do the physical work. They are having genuine and they are stable and persistent in their work. And example is the farmers and workers. Okay, next personality type is investigative. Who will be investigative? It is common sense, you can apply here. See, individual under this personality prefer activities that involve thinking, organizing and understanding. You have to, if you are having investigative personality, that means you have to think more. Okay, and what is your behavior? Then you will tend to be analytical, curious and independent. You will be curious if you are thinking more. If you are having investigative personality, you will be having curiosity and you will be having analytical skill. So which job is perfect for you? If you are having investigative personality, the job like biologist, economist, mathematician and newspaper reporter will be having the investigative personality. So who will be the investigative? So the biologist, economist, mathematician or a reporter they are having they have to do basically the investigative work. Okay, so biologist, they have to do the research on different viruses or different vaccines. So biologist, then economist, mathematician or newspaper reporter also, they have to do the investigation about the crimes. Okay, so we have to say investigative means they have to think, they are curious, right, and they are having analytical skill. So there may be a biologist, economist, mathematician or a newspaper reporter. These person their job should be, if you are having the investigative characteristics or investigative personality, these jobs are perfect for you. Okay, next personality is social personality. Social means what? See, individual under this personality prefer activity that involve helping and developing others. Social means you are socially active and you like basically a social work, helping to other. This is the social personality. Okay, and what are the characteristics of that personality? They are more friendly, cooperative and understanding. Okay, so which job is perfect for the socially involved person? So first, social worker, the job of a social worker, job of a teacher, job of a counselor and a clinical psychologist usually display this type of characteristics. So who under the social personality type, which job is perfect as a social worker? Then we can say the teachers are also the social worker. They are always having communication with student and the other world. Okay, so this is also the best job for the having personality as a social. Okay, social worker, teacher or a psychologist, they have to also deal with the different people. Okay, so social worker, teacher, psychologist will have the personality of a social type. Okay, if you are socially involved, you like the social work, then your job will be suitable for you, will be social worker, teacher, clinical psychologist, etc. Okay, next, conventional. See, now what is a conventional type of personality? Conventional means what? The individual personality type which refer to the self-regulated, orderly and unambiguous activity. Okay, conventional means if you are typically conventional. If you are typically conventional means what? If you are having practical, flexible and efficient your characteristics, then conventional jobs are there. For example, see, what are the conventional jobs? See, through the jobs you can easily get more clarification. See, the work as accountant, work as a manager, work as a bank cashier, work as a clerk display these type of a personality, which are basically we can say these are the conventional jobs. So who must remember here itself, we are working in a bank, we are having the conventional type of personality characteristics. Remember, okay, this is all about us. That's why remember that a conventional type of personality is having, they want to be a rule regulated, and that's why they prefer to work in the job which are conventional, like accountant job, corporate manager job, bank cashier, then the next is the clerk. Okay, these are the having the personality. Okay, these are the best job for the conventional personality. Okay, and next is the enterprising. So friends, it is name itself, it is explanatory. Enterprising. So enterprising means what? Basically a personality type prefer verbal activity where there are opportunities to be influenced to other and attain a power. Basically enterprising personality means what? See, people working as a lawyer, people working as a lawyer, real estate agent, public relations specialist, small business manager usually display these kind of personality. Enterprising means what? They want to take control over the other people. So for example, lawyer, then real estate agents, then public relation specialist, then as business managers. Okay, these are the having enterprising personality. Okay, and what the characteristics that the personality having enterprising display? They tend to be a self confident, ambitious, energetic, and domineering. They tend to dominate other people. Okay, so these are the enterprising. Now what is the artistic type of the personality? So individual under this personality type prefer ambiguous and unsystematic activity. So if you are having artistic, you will not like to be a systematic, you should be unsystematic, because you are having art in your own mind, right? So to whom it is good to where that artistic personality will have to work good? The place of for example, as a painter, the people working as a painters, musician, writer, or an interior decorator usually display this kind of personality. Okay, artistic means basically the job related to their art. Okay, these will have that characteristics. They tend to be imaginative, disorderly, idealistic, emotional, and practical. Okay, these are, you can easily come to know how you can correlate that 6 personality we have discussed. Okay, I repeat, which are the personality. First, Holland's job fit theory we have discussed. There are Holland has given the personality type and which job is suitable to that personality that has been described by the Holland. Okay, first they have said about realistic. In the category of realistic, generally farmer and worker or worker, for them it is suitable, and there is a physical work is involved in the realistic category. Next, investigative, it is suitable for the working in the who like the investigation. Basically it may be a biologist, economist, mathematician, or we can say a newspaper reporter, and they should have more analytical skill because the work is investigation, right? Next is the social personality, which the person who likes social activity. Definitely the social worker or a teacher will be involved in the category of that job will be suitable to the social personality person. Conventional means having very conventional and rule regulated they are liking. That's why the mainly the accountant, bank corporate manager, bank cashier, bank clerk. Okay, these are the conventional type of personality. Next, enterprising means who like to dominate other people. Okay, these are enterprising. So it includes the lawyer, real estate agent, and the special or we can say public relation specialist also. These are the enterprising personality. Next is the artistic, the person who like to work in the art, who believe in art, having some art. So these are having the profession like a painter, musician, writer, or interior decorator. Okay, in this way you can easily correlate because it is very easy. These 6 personality we have discussed. Okay, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so Holland's job fit theory we have discussed, remember. Next we will discuss the diversity management. Okay, diversity management. So what is the diversity management and all that we will discuss here. So see here, diversity and diversity management. So basically what is the diversity and diversity management? Just to take here one brief about diversity. See, one person A, one person B, one person C. So there are 3 persons in the organization. A is different, B is different, C is different. Their needs are different, their demands are different, right? Their personal life is different. So there is a different behavior of A, different behavior of a B, different behavior of a C. Okay, so there is a diversification in the organization about the behavior of a employee. Okay, so let's discuss diversity management. See, today employees encourage diversity in a workplace. Diversity can be in the form of ethical, age, disability, family background, lifestyle, and culture. Okay, for example, there are employee A, employee B, employee C, employee D. Okay, there should be a diversified background of a employee. For example, A, B, age of A, then ethnicity, family background of other employees, how their lifestyle, how their culture. There should be mixture of all employees. There should be mixture. Okay, and that is good. If there is a good mixture of all the if the employee is having diversified background, diversified age, diversified lifestyle, that is good for the organization simply. Okay, that means when the diversity at the workplace is effectively managed, it enhances the creativity, problem solving, work group cohesiveness, and the communication. The organization benefit from an improved quality of product, as a diverse group of employees are needed to adapt the fast changing marketplace. So basically, what is the diversity refer here? Just here, see, diversity can be in the form of ethnicity, age, disability, family background of a employee, lifestyles of the employee, culture of the employee. So basically these are nothing but the diversity. Based on that we can come to know whether it is a diversified organization or not. Okay, and how we can manage that diversity? See, there are three predominant HR approaches for managing that diversity. What are that approach? First, diversity enlargement, diversity sensitivity, and cultural audits. Okay, remember that three name. Okay, just remember the name, and I will just take a brief overview because that is not that much of very important. Okay, where see in this chapter the most important part is only the case study. Generally the case study will be asked. Okay, that we are going to discuss in our special lecture of MCQ. Okay, so here we will take just a brief overview about that, how to manage the diversity. First, diversity enlargement. This approach increases the presence of a different ethnic. Ethnic means what? Basically relating to the population subgroup with a common national or a cultural tradition and a cultural background in the organization. Diversity enlargement means what? Diversity enlargement means presence of a different ethnic, means for example, person from state of we can say state of Kerala, persons from state of Karnataka, persons from state of Goa, persons from Maharashtra. So we have to increase that employee from different state, from different states. Okay, so that is basically a diversity enlargement. We have to enlarge the diversity, simply enlarge the diversity, increase the people from Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Goa, and other states. So that is basically diversity enlargement. Okay, so next, diversity sensitivity. Sensitivity means what? See, this approach acknowledges the cultural distance and attempt to train individual employee about cultural differences. For example, if you are having the person from Kerala and having a person from say Jammu and Kashmir, this is a complete south, this is complete north. So the employee of a Kerala from Kerala and the employee from Jammu will not have a same tradition, same culture. So diversity sensitivity is nothing but whatever the HR working in the bank should ensure that the Keralite people should understand the values of the North Indians, and North Indians should adjust with the Keralite. Okay, so in this way that sensitivity should be developed by the HR. That is basically the diversity sensitivity. Next, the cultural audit. What is a cultural audit? This approach tries to determine what is blocking the progress of a non-traditional employee. Basically, cultural audit means you have to do the audit of what? If the person is not belonging to the traditional employee category, and if the his progress is blocked. then how can you try to evolve that? Okay, so this just remember, this approach tries to determine what is blocking the progress of a non-traditional employee. Okay, so basically we have discussed what is the diversity in the organization and how to manage the diversity. HR is having the diversity enlargement is the first option, diversity sensitivity is the option, and cultural audit is the third option. Okay, these are three approaches. Okay, next we will discuss motivation in the next lecture. Okay, so first half here we have completed. So friends, in this chapter the most important part I will again elaborate. See, just remember the names of what three approaches for managing diversity in the organization: enlargement, sensitivity, and cultural audit. Okay, that three you have to remember. Next, 6 Holland's job fit theory are there, and what are the personalities of the 6? Artistic personality is there, then enterprising, conventional, social, and investigative and realistic. That 6 personality we have discussed, and what job they will fit to them, that we have discussed. Okay, based on that we expect a case study. Next, we have discussed social learning theory, self-concept theory, trait theory, and the psychological and psychoanalytical theory. It is based on 3 elements: ID, ego, and superego. Okay, and the most important part we have discussed here, type A and type B personality. Okay, these are just important part. Type A and type B is most important here, and after that the Holland's job fit theory, that 6 personalities are important. Based on that they can frame a question. So friends, here we will stop, and the remaining part we will discuss in the next video. So before that, you do remember what you have to do. You have to subscribe our YouTube channel Banker Zone. Join the group on Telegram, application Telegram. There is a group for CAIIB study. Name of the group is CAIIB space Bankers space Zone. Or for that you can directly search on the Telegram @CAIIBBZ. And you can also download our Android application from Play Store, Banker Zone CAIIB. So friends, happy learning, all the best.